Hi there, Stones. I didn't disappear. I was enjoying some time with family and traveling a little bit with my dad that was visiting in Australia from France. So I had 2 weeks where I didn't trade, and it was good because I had to go back a little bit to my basics. I studied my previous mistakes and what I did wrong in the past couple of weeks, trying to chase that higher time frame move. I relaxed the mood. I detached from the chart a little bit, and I actually just traded. I paper traded a couple trades, couple good winning trades as well that built back the confidence and showed me that where I really perform is trying to get the move in the session within a couple hours, and that's it, and close the laptop because it's the most relaxed way for me to approach my charts. I'll go through a couple of those trades on my charts. But last week, didn't find anything crazy. This was the previous week high. We took this, closed back below, and we were holding here the whole time. So if I show the chart like this, and I was really tempted to go short on those higher time frame, especially that ETH took this liquidity all the way up here, and then we had this divergence here between Bitcoin and Ethereum, which is a really strong tell signs of a possible reversal. And so Bitcoin had this grab of liquidity while ETH was creating this M formation and getting back below. And on Friday, we were consolidating under here the 50 EMA on the 4 hour and Bitcoin under the 800 EMA. We had this range. And what I really thought is that Friday would at least give us a move down. So yeah, here on Friday in Asia, I couldn't attend UK and US. So because we were back below this level on Bitcoin, like I said, and ranging, I didn't a short on both assets, not with the stop loss to the whole to where it should be if I was playing the real higher time frame move. But this for me was my invalidation that if price was going to go back above this ranging under the EMAs, we were probably going to see either what we're seeing now, which is an information before going down, or continuation higher. Because what in a way stopped me from playing this move as well was another confluence I was looking for, and that is the CME chart. So you can see on Ethereum here, we have this big gap that's still not filled, or we're just hanging below. So this is why I wasn't so keen to short yet. Midweek here as well on Bitcoin, same thing. So this is my idea. We feel that we keep going lower, but like I said, the confluence with the SMT divergence, and this ranging under the EMAs, like I had to take the shot, and that's why I went very small risk. I only went $100 risk on each asset, so pretty much half my risk in total. The one thing I did not like is that big wick here. So all these trap traders that were getting held, like price didn't go back in it on Bitcoin. And if you look at this, even you have this low, you have the sweep of this low and a retest. So at this point, I wasn't at the charts, but it was a bit of a tell sign that we're not gonna go lower. And it was exactly the same on Ethereum here. All the trap traders like really did not get revisited apart from wicks, and you have all this liquidity building up. So there's a high likelihood they're gonna break this. But my invalidation was those EMAs, so especially that 50 EMA on the 1 hour, and same here on Bitcoin. And when I looked at my charts, price was already up here, and I do something is instead of just closing my trade, I'll put my stop loss just above price, because you might get lucky and price might reverse and keep going down. So put my stop loss exactly where, just above where price was here, and got stopped out of both. So happy that I respected my invalidation. I could have got out of those trades earlier because I was really honestly expecting a move up. At least if we were going to go down, it would have needed to happen on Friday or early in the weekend and trend during the weekend, and then you might get a move higher and down. But because it ranged this whole time and we're holding these traders, yeah, it was a sign just to get out of that trade. I could have got out closer, and break even on Bitcoin, but I stayed in. My invalidation was that 50 EMA, respected it. So yeah, not too fussy about this one. If there is one day that I failed probably at taking a trade, was Thursday, which was my first day back at work. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday was only UK. So Monday I was training. So yeah, I didn't trade this one. Nothing special on Tuesday, and nothing good neither on Wednesday. But yeah, on Thursday, it was my first day off. I was able to trade Asia and UK completely, and that's when we had that divergence between the two assets. We had a full trend up on the whole day, so Asia, UK, US, Asia, UK, US. US gave the reversal, and this is one of my favorite setup when the Janet setup, high in US, lower high in dead gap zone, lower high in Asia, and you get your short. And honestly, this M here was quite good under the EMAs, going back on the previous high of the week. It's just that big wick I wasn't a huge fan of, and I didn't see anything crazy in here as an entry. And you see, just price trickle down here. It took its time. You could say there's probably a trade here, but I just didn't want to execute on it. Or the stop loss should have been there. To here wasn't. Yeah, 1.78. You'd take that, but yeah, wasn't so keen. Because of that wick, because of that big wick. And on Ethereum, it was actually better in UK when so this order block that created the new high fails to hold, and it gets retested from underneath, and here it's clean retest of the EMAs, 50% of Asia. And the problem that I had on Ethereum, actually, because I saw this M, this was good, and I really wanted a breakdown and a retest of the EMAs here. And what we had is this sort of weird ranging price action on the 5 minute. If you look closely, honestly, the wicks are to the downside, so it wasn't really engaging to say there's going to be a rejection and we're going to go lower. And yeah, not a clean M, not a clean anything. And by the time, I mean, on Bitcoin, could have entered off this one. The risk reward was still better, targeting Asia lows. But I was looking at ETH because this M was cleaner under the 50% of Asia. Here at the time, Bitcoin was still above. And once that candle happened, it was just too late to get in. I mean, you could, but there's no way you'd think you'd go all the way down there. So you enter around here. Even if you put your stop loss here to this low, you've got a 1-to-1, and this was a big demand zone, and so 50% of the week or something. It's too risky for me. Like there's nothing telling me that we were gonna go that low. So yeah, did not enter this trade. I'm not unhappy about it. I'm happy about the patience I had all week. Only took those higher time frame trades at the end of the week to sustain my need to enter this higher time frame short with small risk. But yeah, that's it pretty much. And I remember on Friday, this was a banger setup. It was just end of US, and there's maybe 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, I decided to stop trading that end of US price action in the morning. But I woke up just here, and this is a really good breaker where that is the last supply before this breakdown that takes this low, and you get a sharp move up, and then now you've got your W here. Try to make it bigger. This W retesting the zone, plus you get a little liquidity sweep here. Banger entry. Just wrong timing. I was looking at it, and yeah, this trade played out pretty good if you opened the long on that candle or even a little bit after. I really like those breaker. It's nice, especially when it's a clean like this, long anytime. Plus you had this buildup of liquidity here between those highs, targeting here this inverse fair value gap here, this zone of imbalance between those two. This was a pretty good trade. Yeah, did not execute it on it because it was end of session, and lately I really want to focus on the first 3 hours because I've been outside of my rules too much and it costed me a lot. I want to go back through the trades I paper traded when I was on holiday with my dad. Don't remember exactly. I'll try to look for it. Yeah, so it was that Monday here, Monday open. That's when I went fishing. I was on Bitcoin. So you had a clear top created on the Sunday, and then if you look on the 15-minute, you could see 1, 2, 3 drops. So fake move start of the week, you expect a move higher. If I go down to the time frames, you have 50% of the previous week, as this week just closed here. So you're holding this level. You have this sharp move down, takes the liquidity, holds it. If you zoom in, first candles of the Asia gap is you have this range. You've got a hammer. You've got a clean supply here that started this big trap. And then yeah, I was looking at the charts here, and then I went fishing. It was like 10. Yeah, it was 10 there. If you had a perfect entry opening of that candle, have the low of that range, targeting that supply, quick trade, 3.8 risk to reward. It's ideal on a Monday on the first 10 minutes. That trade lasted from 10:05 to 10:50, so under an hour of trading. This is what I want to catch. This is what I'm aiming for every day. And then when you catch something like this, you have the model that is playing out. So you have your 3 levels. You're on a Monday. You get the fake move week beginning. You've got that liquidity grab. You don't need to play the reversal of the whole week. And we did end up going higher, but for I think it was for whole of UK and US, price didn't go anywhere. Went back to your entry. What's the point when you just got a 3.8 R trade in 20 minutes? And then you can close your laptop. And 3.8 R, I don't even, like, not lately, I've just been losing a lot, but this is like an average I'd love to have on a weekly basis. And then you've done it in the first 20 minutes of your week. If you want, you can take your week off. And the other day was on the Friday before that. I really loved it. Yeah, it was this one. This was nice. So this was your Asia range here. Here on ETH. So Ethereum in UK did not take the low. Bitcoin did. So this is one of the good setups as well. I'm not usually that aggressive, but sharp move down straight out of UK, taking Asia lows. On the higher time frame, was expecting a move higher. You have this W formation here. Whoa. And if you zoom in on here to the 2 minute, here you have a sharp move up that creates an imbalance. So this is your demand. Got a sharp move down, grabs the liquidity, taps into the demand, reverse. So I remember paper trading this one. Couldn't take it to this low. I think that's where I had it actually. And here the targets were a bit difficult. There was not an exact target, but you could go either for that high, that's 1.5, 1.4, or go for the 800 EMA, because that's the W, break of the 50, test of the 800. That's a 2-hour trade. If you had your stop loss in a more aggressive way, that's a 3-hour trade. It's amazing. And that's done in the first 3 hours of the session. Even if you consider the gap, yeah, you got 2 hours in. By 2 hours and 20, you're done. So you can close your laptop here if you're happy with that 3-hour trade, or 2-hour trade if your stop loss was there. And then you wait a little bit. You have your W level 1. You have this range retracing, and same, you have this demand here that created the break of structure on that point. Displacement, range. Whether you enter of this, tapped into the supply, your stop loss goes below the demand, because your stop loss goes below the demand. And then target 50% Asia, that's your first pretty secure target. I know we went way higher after that, but like I said, I'm just here to take the most probable move that I can have. Now the liquidity sweep and the reclaim of those EMAs, really good setup too. And then these were like back-to-back trades. I think I remember being patient. I was half talking with my dad. We were camping in a van, and you get the same trade here to here. It's 3-hour trade. So depending if you got conservative entries, 5-hour trade in between those two, and you've done those ones within 4 hours of the session. You know, like your entry is probably within the 3-hour mark. Yeah, 3 hours and a half. If you usually count my 3 hours from here, so usually like to trade half an hour of gap, 3 hours of session gives me 3 hours and a half. But here's pretty much your 3-hour mark. Once you have that sweep, you get confirmation right after. You stay in that trade and look it up. Yeah, 4 hour into your session, you're done. You're done with 5-hour. This is what I'm aiming for. The sort of trading I want. I focus on this. on the 2 minute. I'm done quickly. There's a high probability of price going to like not really far, and then I don't care about Bitcoin being at 70k, being at 50k, being in a weekly fair value gap or anything, or thinking, oh, maybe this is the low, and that tiny trade I took, I can hold it for a 50 hour trade to the top. Now, not my view of how trading should be like. How I'd like trading to be is really, I show up to my chart. Like here, for example, I didn't look at price action a while. I couldn't trade any of those other days when we were traveling, and this was a night where we were actually at camp for UK. It was 7 p.m. We already had dinner, and I looked at my chart and I was talking with my dad, and I want to sit down, see what I can get from those like couple hours I'm at the chart, and done. Because like I did on those higher time frame plays, like those moves, like this is one that I was in on the 4 hour. That was really good. It was a good entry, but you have to monitor this trade the whole time. And then I didn't exit at this point because I thought the setup was still valid. And you I ended up taking a little bit of profit, but for many days I was staring at this, not staring at it, but sort of managing that trade. Didn't exit there, and if you wanted to play the whole move down, you didn't realize there was a flip happening here, you would have been stopped at break even and spent all this time for nothing. So this was, yeah, a background trade. I tried again this week, but this is really not the way I want to trade. I just don't like it. I like my 2 and 5 minute, try to get my small move, and be done. If I'm done in the first hour, perfect. If it takes me 3 or 4, it's good as well. And then I close my laptop and I come to the next session or the next day. All right, I'll try to have a good week this week. Not working Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The problem is it's FOMC on Wednesday. There's like rates for Japan, rates for UK. There's a lot of news, so I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get a good trade on those first 3 days, but we'll try. I'll try my best. And then Thursday, Friday, I'll only trade UK as usual when I'm working. See you guys next week. Thanks for watching.